Hi everyone, Tiffany here. Welcome to my Quilting Life Insomniac series. I just got to remember to say that every time. So, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to head down there, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, get notifications when I'm on, and like and share my videos. So tonight is episode number one. Episode number one of my Insomniac quilting series, and it is not yet midnight. The only reason why I'm on before midnight is because I figured the first one, should kind of roll over into the next day. Aha! It's actually 11:23 p.m. here. So yeah, it's late and it's nighttime, and this is episode one. So, holy moly, that's loud. Okay, so yeah, I was just working on something, trying to get together with my phone real quick, and then didn't want to have to sit on it a bazillion times while I figured this out. So anyway, so I'm just going to start episode one with what I was working on earlier. Why? Because, well, I started it and it's sitting out, so I might as well get it done as much as I can of it until I feel tired enough or need a smoke break or something, and then I'll have to get off, or maybe food, because that always seems to be my thing, is needing to eat something. So, all right. So I'm not going to figure that a bazillion people are going to come on while I'm on this late at night, but I figured I'd start this for those of you who miss me during the day. So this is a whole new series. It'll be episodes. That's why it's called Insomniac series, because it's going to be a ton of episodes, just 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. And they'll happen whenever, most likely more than once a week. Instead of just having Sunday, there'll be more than once a week, but it's at night because I'm awake at night. And it's hard with the kids here to get on during the day. So everything happens at night around here. So again, yeah, that's all I had to say for that. And every time I think I'm going to walk away from this mouse, something else pops up on the screen. All right. So now that I know that is working, let's get to showing you. These are what we did earlier today. If you didn't catch that video, I made really cool furs that are 2 different fabrics inside 2 different other fabrics. So these are the blocks that I was making earlier. And there's more because I made more during my off time, even though I still tried to eat and stuff. I couldn't sit still, so I made a couple and then I couldn't sit still. So here's 2 that are opposite of each other, white and gray. See if I can't tip that. It's a white on white, actually. It's not just plain white. It's a white on white, but you can't really tell unless you're looking at it from up close. And then the other ones that I made was this one and this one, which are opposite of each other. And some of them, I think I purposely turned one of the, it was the white one. I purposely turned one of these to face the opposite way to match the fact that the other big, huge ones that I made are the opposite of each other, which is, these are the big, huge blocks that I made. And in one of them, this is turned. And I did that on purpose. So, all right, let's say hi to who's here real quick and then move on. So, hi, Misty. Sorry for waiting. I made sure I said just a minute because I turned it on and I was like, oh, I need to do this real quick. Went out there and did a couple things and I came back in. So, hi, Lisa. All right, guys. So, and anybody else that's here watching, hello to you. Because of the colors that are in here, because I still have more scraps, I went ahead and pulled, because remember I still had these pieces left if you caught the video from earlier, and I know I keep saying remember, but this is a whole new series, so obviously this is kind of new. But I had some 1.5 inch strips and 2.5 inch strips left. I still have the gray pieces that I don't know what I'm going to do with. And then all the pieces that were cut off of the big, huge blocks, I sewed together and made these. This is what I did in my off time while watching TV, is I put a bunch of these all together and then I just trimmed the sides. So I'll sew these into something and incorporate them into this lovely quilt that I'm making. So those are made and trimmed down. I pulled some black off the shelf so that I can add some black because I know I'm going to need it. I also, and I know you guys are going to think I'm weird for this, but I pulled some yellow. And the reason for that is, let me hold up some pieces onto the yellow so that you can see why I pulled some yellow. And since this is a boy quilt anyway, this is why I pulled yellow, because there's yellow in all of these pieces. So I pulled yellow, as well as I pulled out from the drawer this blue aqua color that matches the same as this color. So it's the same as this color, except it has white polka dots on it. So there's like 20 inches of this. I measured before I measured when I pulled it from the drawer, but there's 20 inches of this. And then I don't know how much of the yellow. There's probably a yard here. Four. Oh, there's a little bit under a yard. There's a yard and a quarter here of the yellow. And then the black says I have 2 yards. So I'm not going to use it all. I'm just going to incorporate all this stuff because it just came from everywhere, you know. So that way I could do something with the rest of these. And when I was thinking about it, there's 3 of these blocks. 1, 2, and 3. And then the ones that I turned into little ones, there is 4 sets of 2. So what I was thinking is making a black and yellow, or this yellow with blue maybe, or yellow with black and blue. I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking about it as I stand here and stare at everything. Probably yellow and black with the blue in it. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about making another set of these small blocks with using all the other pieces of these. And it's probably going to have to be the yellow and blue so that it blends in. And make a couple random blocks so that I can make these into big blocks with sashing. But instead of using 4 of these, I can use 2 of these and then 2 of the other colorway, if that makes any sense. So I was thinking I could just cut some 5-inch squares and go from there. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is cut 5-inch squares of the yellow and make little stars with this, and this gray, and use the yellow and the blue, I think. Or the yellow and the black. I think the yellow and black will be better. And I could put blue as sashing or something to match the rest of these pieces. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm use blue and black. See, I don't make up my mind very easily, do I? I'm like, I should. Never mind. So I'm going to go ahead and cut then from this. I'm not even going to bother pressing it. I'm just going to straighten it out really nicely. And I'm going to start by straightening up one edge, and then I'm going to cut a 5-inch strip, because all I will need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just need 8 5-inch squares. So I'm pretty sure I can manage 8 5-inch squares, and then again from the black 8 5-inch squares. So let's cut this up. Okay. So again, I'm just cutting 5-inch squares to turn these into the bigger blocks that I made, but the 2 different colored backgrounds. I think that will look pretty darn awesome. So I just need 1. Will I get 8 from it? I don't know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, I will get 8 from that. So there's 1. Hi, Misty. Didn't I say hi already? Or you were waiting and then you probably left and came back home. That's fine. All right, now I'm going to cut a 5-inch strip off of here. Just line this up right here and trim it nice and flush, because I just need 8 from each color. So I'm going to make a straight cut, even though it kind of looks straight already, but just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to start over with a nice straight cut. And I'm going to come over 5 inches. Line it up. It's hard to see black lines on black fabric, but that's as accurate as I'm going to get it. So I'm just going to start with making these real quick. Just need 8 5-inch squares. So I'm just going to cut the selvage and the little fold, and then I get 2 cuts, which is all I need. Get that selvage and that fold off at the same exact time. Line up on a line. We're going to line this right here. Make a nice straight cut. And come over 5 inches, and then 5 inches again. And do it again. One more time. And somehow, like always, I will incorporate any of this last bits. So anything that's left over, I will press it nice and flat, all these folds and creases, and incorporate it somehow, which I'll just turn the iron on now. And I brought the ironing board. I just left the ironing board right here so that you guys can see, but I had to leave a walk space. So hopefully, there we go, that you can see most of there and right here. So now what I'm going to do is make 4 patches. And I'm going to repeat the process I did in earlier today's video. So it's going to be like this. One of these has a double. This one, okay. It's going to say. These 2 will go here, so all this goes together, and all this goes together like that. So here's my piles. We're just going to start with 1 set for now. Just going to line them up out of the way, and I'm going to start with these. And I'm going to start with, just to get them out of here and done with these pieces. And remember, these are not quite 3 inches, so I'm just cutting them in half. So I'm stacking them all center of each other. And they're about 1.5 inches. Kind of doesn't really matter. It's just random. As long as I cut in half of the whole entire thing. So that gives me 2 sets for 2 different blocks. And then we'll do this one. We'll do 4 of these, which will give me 2 sets as well. So I can do 2 different pieces. What am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll get 2 different blocks each time I do this. Cut in half of that. It's about 1.5 inches. So 4 for this one, 4 for that one. ISO not normal. And obviously it's going to take a while before I remember names. So if you tell it to me again, you'll have to tell it to me again in a week. Because I will just not remember. I'm going to start with the black on the bottom of this one. So I'm just going to line these up, making sure that they're going to cross over. This is exactly what I was doing earlier, and I'm hoping that you can see. I'm turning them right sides together. And I'm coming in at the bottom of one side of this and the top the other, creating like a funky, put it on like this, up, right sides together, and I'm going to sew using this as my guideline. Sew down this and then flip it over and making sure that it covers my edge. So let's just make sure that it's lined up a little accurately. This one's kind of wide, so I can actually widen it a little. You know, ones that are short, I'm just trying to make sure that they line right up. All right. So I'm going to start with one piece at a time and just move my guide and just start sewing along the line, keeping everything nice and lined up. I'm also going to flip and make sure. So that one was like that. And obviously I'm going to press them real quick too. I'm just making sure everything lines up first. I think this will definitely give the quilt some character, adding some solids like this. Oops, that one would be, that's the fat bottom, so that would go that way. Bottom that way, and last piece for this set. So I just got to remember the next set that I do of pieces, the other color will go down first. All right, so let me press these so that I can chop away. So I'm just right here. Let me press these other pieces while I'm right there. I have to do that again in a little bit. They were on the crease, so they definitely were folded, these little pieces. As always, I use as many scraps as I possibly can. All right, so I'm just going to press all these. You can kind of see me hiding right here. But if I come any closer right this way, then I won't be able to stand in here and cut. So now I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to cut away so that you can see. I'm going to first cut away a lot using the block as my guideline. I'm going to cut away this and then this top piece, and then I'm going to take and cut away that back piece using this 1/4 inch seam as my guideline. Obviously, it would be flat on the table like that. So I'm just going to use this and line all these up and cut them all away. Essentially making 3 cuts per each piece. So there's piece cut number 2, and then I open this flap up and cut away the bottom, not the tough one. So that leaves me with my 1/4 inch seam and then a nice straight square block as I started. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the process over and over and over until I have every single one of these made. And I'm not saving the little, these little scraps. I did save the bigger ones, but I'm not saving the littler ones. Sometimes it's a little hard to get this ruler back here. So I'm just doing it from the back side, using the block as my guide. Sometimes I use the ruler, sometimes I don't. For that little corner piece, because it's so small. It's not hard to make sure you get it. And one more. So I do want to say while I'm here doing all this Insomniac series is going to be random. I'm going to come on randomly, always after hours, so that people that didn't get to see earlier videos or whatever can still get to see videos after hours and still be able to come on and live chat, as well as it gets me a chance during my Insomniac hours, because normally Scott can hear me. He said he doesn't mind as long as he can't hear me. Normally he can hear me talking in here, and then he wakes up freaking out, who am I talking to? So I have to keep myself a little bit more on the quiet side, but he said it was okay. So as long as I don't wake him, you know, because he sleeps on the other side of this wall behind you guys. So as long as I don't wake him, I should be okay making these videos, but I need to get caught up. So this whole series is getting caught up on all the things that need to be done. All right, so I'm going to start by sewing these on now. I just laid them crossed over the bottom. Maybe I should show you guys this so that you can remember if you do want to make these. So now it's wrong sides together, or right sides together, so that way when it folds over, it'll be crossed over this bottom, creating another piece. But when you lay it on here, you want the wide part at the bottom like this, and the other part coming to the top. So you want to expose your hooking to the wider part, not the thinner part, to the wider part on all of them. They all should lay the same. So I'm just going to lay this on here. I guess these strips are about an inch and a half on 5-inch squares. There is some bulk when they are put together, and there's no way around that, unfortunately, for at least this, what I'm doing here. Now, if you were to leave it just one piece hooked to it and not hooked a second one, then it would be just like a Missouri Star Quilt Company pattern. But I decided to do two, which makes it my own. So there's number 2. I think I woke somebody. Give me 2 seconds. I can hear banging. Okay. Yep, I woke him. It's okay. I'll live. Sorry about that, guys. I knew this would happen. On night 1, first video. Hi, Karen. Twice in one day. I knew today was going to be better than yesterday. Well, that's because this is the start of my Insomniac series. So, yeah. And I've been actually on, hold on, 1, 2, 3. This is actually my 4th time on today. In reality, it's my 4th time on today. Oh, they're all sewn on. Good, I thought I had one left. So let me press these. And this one hit that edge right there with the iron. I hate when that happens. There we go. I was going to try to see if I can find a good spot to get in to get enough internet to comment. Oh, okay. Are you on a phone or something? Okay. You don't have to comment if you don't want to. I mean, if you can't either, then obviously I understand. So now I know if you can't, that it's just internet problems. All right, so now I'm just trimming away, same thing, opposite sides. So again, you can see I'm just straightening it now with the block that has been made, even with the new attachment, you know, and then I'll cut that other end off, and then I'll go and trim away the back. But I do it from the back side. It's better to do it from the back side because the square is your template. Just fold the piece back, trim the excess away. Have another, keep going until it's all done. And if you cut enough of these, you can cut the sides off without messing up the little end tap pieces. This little end piece now that's sticking out, if you cut enough of these, that end piece you can cut without the scissors. I mean, without the ruler. Why did I say scissors? Because they're sitting next to me. All right. I think this is going to look very cute, and I'm glad I decided to do just 2 different color things. We're going to put those there. Oops, this one will go on this side. This one will go on this side. Ooh, that is adorable already. Look at that. Now I just need to sew it together, and then I'll show you after I press it. Put in the boonies. Oh, you live in the boonies, so you have to find special spots to get internet? Is that what you're trying to say? Okay, so now I got them right sides together, and I'm sewing it together like any 4-patch with a 1/4-inch seam. Make sure I use my seam guide for this, because if I don't, I always seem to mess up. Lining everything up, it's nice and square. Keep it on the machine, grab the next one. Don't flip or turn, because that'll just ruin everything. Make sure everything's laying nice and flat, nice and flush. Hello, Brenda. Now I'm going to just finger push, not press, but push to one side and finger push to the other, because they're very thick seams. There's a lot of fabric right there in those little areas. As long as I match my center and press the seam nicely, it should lay pretty good. All right, so let me add some heat to this, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll make the next one, but the opposite colorway. Oh, that's so pretty. I love it already. Oops, I think I ran out of bobbin here because my stitching is not good. But the only seam seems to be. Hold on, guys. I gotta sew. Yeah, that's it. It's because I'm out of bobbin. I gotta re-sew a seam real quick. It kind of stayed, but it was the end of the bobbin. So it's kind of a seam, but it's kind of not. I'm going to check to make sure none of the other seams did that, and it looks like that's the only one. Sometimes that happens, like the bobbin is like right before empty, and it'll kind of catch, but then it kind of doesn't catch. So far, everything else looks good. That seems good, that seems good. That's good. Good, good, good. So it just ran out on this one, huh? Okay. It's going to pluck some of the stitching away. All right. All right. Okay, no, that's tension now. And I'm having my first issue of the night. Hold on 2 seconds. I'm going to play with my tension real quick. It's weird that that randomly happened. See all that thread just coming off like that? It really wasn't sewing anything. Hate when that happens. Hi, Debbie. I was patchworking tonight after work. Instead, I am sewing the seams on pants, and my son's school uniform pairs pants have both come undone over the last 2 days. I hate doing mending. I hate doing mending too. I don't like mending anything. All right, I gotta check my tension real quick because Oy, 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 how did that happen? I do not know. That's crazy. Oh, I know now why. I don't always see the problem until I'm trying to fix it. Now I'm going to fix it. Sometimes you just need to rethread your machine. Well, my bobbin was out anyway. That's probably what knocked it out, was speeding with an empty bobbin. All right. Oh my goodness, look at that. Perfection. Speeding with an empty bobbin. That was my problem. Now I gotta get rid of all this excess thread on here, because this amount of thread will create bulk, and this block already has enough bulk. Well, I will show you guys as soon as it's complete. As soon as it's sewed, now that I've gotten all the stitching out. All right, let's do that again. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Give me a second and I will show you what we got going on here. This is so cute. I love it. I'm glad I decided to go with the yellow and the black. So here it is with the yellow and the black. Oh, I already read that. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Debbie. I'm sewing in the dark and my husband's asleep with my Bluetooth headset. Coffee is on. That's committed, Brenda. I've sewn in the dark too, guys. I just can't when I'm on my live streams. So, all right. One block of 4 that I'm making, so that way I have an equal amount of pieces. So let's make another one. Same thing, but opposite way now. Still pondering over navy quilts. I so want to make some stars like those. Make some then. Look at all this thread in this. Have fun with it. That's what I'm doing. Lots of it, actually, if you haven't noticed. They're thick, okay? They are kind of bulky. That's what I said I was going to show you. So where these two pieces meet up, if they're completely, totally different lengths, then it's okay. But when they are this one, they're kind of meeting up more closer. So back here, there is a lot more seam. So that's a bunch of fabrics coming together. You know what I mean? There's 4 different fabrics right there. There's the yellow, then there's the 2 pieces, and then there's this. So just be careful that these ends, when you make the points, use an iron, use starch and steam, and they'll lay flat enough, because when you're sewing it into its rows, this is far enough down where I have a 1/4 inch right here, and there is no bulk on this end. So there is no bulk on this end. I mean, look how far down that is. You know, there's no bulk on the ends when you're conjoining these into other blocks, and or if you're sashing it, then there's no worry about it, you know. Just make sure when you're quilting it that you know, be aware that you had some thickness, but it's not horrible thickness. I wish I had some kind of gauge to hold on the fabric to tell you guys, but it's not like it's not the kind of bulk when you make pinwheels and you know you get that big huge mess in the middle. It's not that kind of bulk. It's a different kind of bulk because it's spread out pretty far. So totally different kind of bulk. I'm going to move all these blocks out of the way real quick so I can start making a stack of these new ones. So I'm going to start with these guys now, and that one started with the stripe on bottom or zigzag, whatever that is. So this one, we'll start with it first. So I'm just going to go ahead and chain piece all these through. And I'm going to make sure that they're lying just right. Chain piece every single one of these through. Just choosing an end, starting at the corner, coming up, using my little sliver as my guide, making sure that I will have enough room when I fold it over as well. I should be good. So I'm just chain piecing these. I'm going to chain press them, chain trim them, and then put the next pieces on, making it easier now that, I have the hang of it, if that makes any sense. So all these are on now. Now I'm just going to trim away all of these, lining it up on my square as my guide. Chop this little end off, flip it over, take away my 1/4 inch seam so I don't have anything seeing through. Oops, turn it upside down. Do that first, Tippy, or else you're going to mess it all up. And yes, I talk to myself in the third person sometimes, and I'm pretty sure you guys all do it too. It's funny. I do it a lot in my reminding myself in the videos, because if I don't, I won't remember. Sometimes I rewatch my videos only so that I can read comments. I know I missed comments kind of things. A lot of times I miss comments. And if you think about it, by the time I have a lot more subscribers and more people are watching, then I'll probably miss a lot more comments, especially since I kind of get into the groove. But as long as you guys know what I'm doing and I'm describing things, I'm pretty much good. But I go back and I watch the videos, or at least read the comments, or I'll fast forward to a specific part to remember what I said, or a size or something when I'm rewriting things, to make sure that if I had to adjust something, that I don't mess up and do what I had started with, All right, so now these are all right here next to me. I'm going to go ahead, and since the fat part is on this side, I'm going to be connecting my next piece with my openness on the fat part, like this, crossing over the fat part down to nothing. So it starts at the fat part, not the skinny side. I'm starting at the fat side. So I'm just going to chain piece all these through now. Oops. Just going to grab a piece, sew it on. Grab a piece, sew it on. And this whole project can be chain pieced over and over. Once you get the hang of it, every square is going to sew the same exact way. One more. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. There we go. It almost folded the fabric. Must be easy to miss comments. Sometimes it scrolls through. Yes, it does. Definitely. And especially when I'm in the groove and then I have to go back and try to scroll. And if I hit something wrong, it goes right back to the beginning again. Or to the end. And then I miss the stuff that's above it. If that makes any sense. And actually, there's another person that does live stream. No, 2 people that do live streams that happens to all the time, just like me, that I watch. That always end up missing a comment because it scrolls too fast. And then when you go to scroll it, it messes it up. All right. Let's cut the back sides of these off. And then sew these 4 all together. I'm chopping this out. And I'll just show you this one piece so that you can see. So now it's the opposite piece on the end. So I'm always, when I do this, it started with the piece on the fat, on the bottom, and then the next side, instead of hooking to the bottom where it's skinny, you hook to the fat and lean it towards the top to make a corner. And we did it with the big blocks earlier, so it can be done with the little blocks too. I don't think I'd go smaller than a 5-inch with a 1.5-inch stars like this though, because these are about 1.5 inches. They're technically not 1.5. They're a little bit of a mix. Some of them are 1.5, some of them are 1.25, and yeah, they're a little bit all different sizes. As long as you're cutting, you trim everything and lining things up when you're sewing them, they should all line up pretty darn nicely, if I do say so myself. All right, one more. And then all we have to do is make 2 more sets. And we'll chain piece those through as well. All right, so this is all my garbage. Like I said, I'm not saving those pieces. I'm going to lay this together as a 4-patch, except I'm alternating my colors. So black goes on one side and yellow goes on the other. So I'm going to put them right sides together, take them over the machine, and sew. All right, put my little magnet back, because if I don't, I will mess up that seam. I always do. There's one. So I'm going to kind of just push the seam over a little so that one seam is facing one way, one seam is facing the other. And that one is barely a star there, but it's working. That was a very skinny piece, but it's there, it's on, and I'm not changing it. Okay, let me press it and I'll show you. So it's going to be the opposite of the last one. And again, these blocks are 9.5 inches. But I'm giving them sashing anyway, so they will be 9-inch finished blocks. Again, for those that need ideas for the birthday block thing, if you want something easy to make. So there's number 2. So number 1, that black and white fabric was the background one. Number 2, it's the top one. So they're swapped. I think that looks so awesome. So awesome. All right, let's make 2 more. So now I'm going to just chain piece all of these through. So we're going to do 4 of these again, because there's only 4 left. I'm going to cut them in half. That gives me 2 blocks worth. So one will be for the top of one set, and then we're going to do 4 of these. It's going to look weird against the black, but actually, let's do this gray, because I haven't done this gray yet. It should, yeah, it should look okay. So we'll just do 4 of these. 2 for one and 2 for the other. Okay. This is how you use up scraps, guys. So I'm going to start by sewing those on first, and then we'll trim and all that, and then go to the next. So I'm going to start by just chain piecing all these with these pieces and these pieces. It'd be nice if I could put it right sides together, though. as long as I chain piece them all the same exact way. So if I'm starting with the wide part first and this part, then I should have the same equal pieces as I go around. Thinking of making the big one 10-inch, and I have the jelly roll. Place a star in each row of strip sets, and that should not take long. No, it shouldn't. It should go pretty quick if you're making the big one. Yes, just 10-inch squares and a jelly roll, or a layer cake and 2.5-inch strips from a solid. You can mix it up. Let's throw these ones through now. And I'm also just going to press them all, trim them all, and then work on the other side. Really gotta be careful. Some of these are really skimpy on the sides. Gotta be careful. A navy print is yardage. Well, that would work. And then a layer cake. All right. I think I'm going to start by kind of giving them a little finger press back, making sure that they are all covering. Okay, good. Some of them, they look like they're not going to cover the other side, but they are, which is good because that's what I need. Okay. Press them, and then put the other side on, or press trim, then put the other side on. Okay. So now we'll trim all these up. Make it quickly, like as quick as I can, at least. As quick as I can cut them all. And they're out of order right now, but that's okay because I'll put them all back in order when I go to put the other sides on. And you don't have to cut away these backs. The only reason why I'm doing it is because of the see-throughness. If you were using a dark fabric as your star points, you wouldn't really have to cut it away because the dark fabric would cover. But since I have multicolored fabric, I don't want it to show through my top fabric. So if you're using a dark fabric as your star points, it would be okay to leave them. They'll be bulk, but as long as you're getting rid of the length on the outside and squaring the block from the back side up. But if you don't have to open them up and get rid of this, I'm just doing it so that there's no see-throughness at all. Makes it easier. One more, and then I'll add the next and start going again. Okay. All that's done. Let's put the other sides on. Gray, 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 and the gray. I also have some ombre, thinking that would look cool. Oh yes, it would. An ombre fabric. It's just hard because it might only be the, say, the green part of a green faded ombre, or maybe only the one part, because we're using on the big strips. Obviously, it'll be a little bit more, and it'll spread around. Theoretically, it should spread around just right if you're using the same jelly roll strip or strip of fabric to go all the way around the square. I think that would be cool because it would blend it up and it'll look like messy but not messy. It'll be perfect. Wow, I got 17 of you guys. Awesome. All right, same thing. Making sure that this next piece that I attach sits over on the fat part and then comes up. So it's over on the fat part, and now the skinny part's way over here. I'm coming out on the fat part, but in towards the rest of the top of the block. I'm just going to chain piece all these through now. I think these might be the perfect cornerstone blocks for a Boy Scout themed quilt. They make me think of the compass. Exactly. That's why I'm doing this as a boy quilt, because it's rare that I make stuff that's for boys. Everything I make always seems so girly. Even if it's not with girly fabrics, it just seems girly. So I needed a little bit more boy stuff in my selection of for sale stuff. So this is going to be the perfect addition to my for sale stuff and boy fabrics. And it's cute. Like, I'm glad I decided to add some other fabrics to it, because plus it'll make it bigger. Thinking more sparkle. I'm thinking, okay, I already read that part. Good idea. But around the world quote was masculine. Yes, that's for someone for a man or a woman, it don't matter. But at least it was manly. It's so hard for me to end up with fabrics that are manly, or quilts ending up looking manly. And I need them to be for both genders: boy, girl, man, woman. I love it too. I think it turned out amazing. I love the big swirls. I'm going to totally do that again on something else. Big, huge swirls like that. I think that came out so cool. Like, totally super duper cool. And it's definitely for something that this prints that I don't want to custom quilt, ruler work in all of the half square triangles, which is what I've done in previous half square triangle quilts. I always seem to end up ruler working them, and there's so much work, when I could just be doing these really large swirls because it looks super awesome. And it takes a quarter of the time it takes me to ruler work something with all custom work. Still took me a while, but it takes half the time. So, all right, let's trim all these and put 2 4 patches together. And then we're going to figure out what to do with the smaller pieces, which I just had a random idea, and I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to make some 4 patches and make a border out of the rest of all of it with 4 patches with those fabrics and the yardage. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because I still need to make some kind of sashing for in between all of this. At least in between all 4 pieces. You'll see what I'm doing. I'm going to lay it on the floor so you guys can see. You have an amazing eye for free motion design. I think so. Sometimes I do get stuck though. Actually, more than sometimes. I get stuck a lot. I stand there and look, and I get it on the frame, and then I'll quilt something, and I'll get that first like corner done, and I'll go, this does not look right, and I'll pick it all out, and then it'll sit on the frame for about 2 or 3 days while I think. And then I'll go out. Every time I go out for a cigarette, I'll pass right by it on my way out the back door, and I'll pass right by the frame, and I'll look at the quilt and go, nah, and I'll just keep going outside, you know. And sometimes it stops me in my tracks. Oh, I'll do this. And then I'll stand there for a second, look, I'll think the path out in my head. Then I'll start to quilt it. And I'm like, yep, that's the one. And then I'll quilt for about 15 minutes instead of making myself go out for a cigarette. I'll quilt for about 15 minutes so I get the idea in my head. It's almost a whole row. I'm like, okay. And then I'll go have my cigarette, come back in and realize, okay, I think I did good. That looks good. And I'll sit down, do my thing until I can actually go out and quilt. That's when there's kids here. If there's no kids here, then I can actually just go straight ahead and keep going. But that happens a lot, though. It's like a weird ritual I have. I end up thinking about it on my way outside because I pass by the quilt because it's right out the back door, you know, in the garage, the long arms. So I see it every time I pass outside. And I go outside at least 10 to 14 times a day. Sometimes less, sometimes more. Depends on how much pain I'm in. I try to tell this to Scott all the time. I smoke more when I'm in more pain. The less pain I'm in, the less I smoke. He doesn't understand that. I guess more smokers need to tell him that. Smokers that have problems like me. I don't take pills or anything like that, so I think it makes it okay, even though it's costly. If I quit smoking, I can buy more fabric. Like a lot more fabric. Well, I smoke cheap cigarettes, but still. I would have a larger fabric budget, put it that way. By $200 a month. Or almost, because it's actually not fully 200. It's like $160 for 4 cartons of cigarettes where I buy them, at least. Which is probably way cheap. You guys are thinking, what? There's no way. Yeah. Anybody that's a smoker knows smoking is expensive. All right, let's put these together now. Black there, yellow there, and a yellow there. And then yellow, black, and black. Bam, just like that, guys. And that will give me enough blocks to fully go through this quilt that I'm making, this random quilt. Oops, what am I doing? These first. Duh. Totally understand that. I tell our new quilters that good quilters pick out stitches. Don't be scared to mess up. Yeah. I pick out a lot of stitches. I got really frustrated once. I was quilting away. A lot of times this happens and I don't pay attention. My tension got off while I was quilting, and while I was talking just now, I veered to the side. My tension was off. It was good when I started the row, and then I was heavily quilting too, really heavily. And I don't have a camera or whatever that stuff is that a lot of long armers can see underneath, and I don't have mirrors or any special anything. I just get on my hands and knees with a flashlight and do my best to see. underneath. And yeah, I quilted a little bit more than half before I realized my tension was off, and I had heavy quilting, very heavy quilting, and I had to pick it all out, all of it. And then I had to spray it with water. I had to leave the, move the machine out of the way, spray the whole thing with water, and let it dry for a while, because that's the only way to get rid of those poked holes that end up on it. So yeah, I was so mad. And I ended up getting the tension correct later on, but I was so mad that I didn't touch the quilt for like another day and a half. On Alexa's quilt, I had to do that too. I had to pick out. CJ was underneath while I was on top, and we were both just picking away like 6 rows. And that was back when I was using this as a mid-arm. But this always had issues. That's why I'm glad I switched to the long arm, because I have way less issues, like super way less. And since I switched to glide thread, I have even more less issues. The tension is set for the glide thread, so anytime I run that exact thread, every time, over and over, it's always going to be good, because that's the thread I'll go to every time. If I have to switch to something other than the glide, then I have to play with the tension before I don't even load the quilt yet until I've messed with the tension, because it requires to be moved, especially cotton threads, because the glide is a poly-wrapped poly. Or polycore, poly-wrapped polycore. Polycore. I think it said polycore, poly-wrapped. I don't know. All I know is it quilts beautifully. Has a slight shimmer to it, but they do have some dull colors. That over there. Grab this set. To use it on bottom. Yep, I use glide on top and bottom. And unfortunately, I can't afford to buy 2 spools of the same color, so when I do run out of bobbins, if I didn't estimate good enough, I will have to de-thread, take it off, roll a bunch more bobbins, and then put the thread back on. But oh my god, that stuff has saved everything. I have thread breakages, but it seems to happen when I'm making videos. Because it doesn't happen when I'm not making videos. I mean, sometimes it does, but it's very rare. And I have a lot of tangles sometimes when I get to the end of a spool. But sometimes it's just the way the glide spool was wrapped. And I have bobbin issues sometimes when they get to the end too, because of the way my bobbins wind. But it's very rare. It doesn't happen every time. I've had the machine a year, so I'm used to all the little kinks and stuff that it has. That info. I never knew how to fix the stitch holes while it's still on the frame. Oh yeah, I just move the machine out of the way. Make sure the machine is moved out of the way. And this is so good because batiks always have the holes when you pick it out. And rubbing it, sometimes it doesn't get rid of those holes. Like you could rub it, and sometimes they just don't want to go away. Move the machine out of the way because you don't want to get that wet. Take a spray bottle or a mister and just, not heavy spray, but like mist spray, Mist spray it and then rub your hand over it so that it puts the water in. Let it sit for about an hour until it's completely dry. Bam, all the holes are gone. Completely gone. They disappear. So, yep, and you don't have to unroll it or anything off, the frame at all to like loosen it up a little just to get them out. I thought that at first. But no, I just let the water sit on there. I just pour the water, spray the water on, kind of like how an iron mists. It's a nice, you can see that mist on the screen actually. Kind of like how an iron mists. You just want a mist, spray it to where it's wet. Spray, the quilt to where it's wet. You can see the wetness. And then rub your hand over it like this, all the way down or however much of an area. You don't have to worry about on the bottom because the bottom's going to come out when the quilt gets washed, but the top of the quilt, especially when using batiks, that's the fabric that always leaves so many needle punch marks, especially if you have to pick while it's on the long arm. But yeah, I just spray bottle mist and it takes it all away after I rub my hand on it. Let it dry for about an hour and they're all gone. Every single pick mark or needle punch hole. Sorry. I was saying the words wrong. It was coming out of my mouth wrong, but you guys knew what I was saying. This one came out super dinky, the pieces, because they weren't all 1.5 inch. So these two look really cool. So here's one. So I have to come really close for you to see that it's gray. You see that? And then this one came out really tiny too. So this one has the gray on the backs, the backer one, and the forward fabric is the other one. So these ones, look how much room they have. So that's not going to get caught in any seam. There's definitely a whole half of a finger space between these. So if there's any bulk right here, it's not going to matter because it's not anywhere near where you're going to be catching a seam. And I can't see comments every time when you guys hear that. I don't know how to get rid of these stupid dings that keep coming through my computer. So yeah, here's the tiny ones. It's got thread on it, sorry. So what happens when you use black? Everything gets on it and stays on it. So there's these two. So now we're going to move all this out of the way. Lay these up here. I'm going to move the ironing board now and then turn the camera and face it down so that you guys can see what's going to be happening here. The creativeness idea behind this. So I'll be over there in just a sec. I have to squeeze past stuff here now because I don't want to hit the computer stand. I brought the iron close so that you guys can see me. Is why. Okay. So we're going to move down to the floor, sort of, as best as possible. That's good enough. So remember, there's 3 of the big ones. And remember, I'm in my pajamas, so don't mind me. Now, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, like that. And I kind of have them a little separated just because there's going to be sashing. And then I'm going to mix these in. So let me say that 2 can go in this one. 1 can go in this one. I don't know, let's see. 1 can go in this one? No, that's not going to work. I'm just going to put them all in the same one. There's going to be sashing in between it, so. Black. So if you're sashing in between it. Yeah, I like that better. All on 1. And there'll be these. This. And there's going to be sashing. Just remember, there's going to be sashing in between everything. Like that. And these 4. Here. Back here. And this one here. Like that. So now I just need sashing. You can even tell the yellow is kind of stark, but I think I'm going to use yellow as the sashing or the first border or something. So I'm just going to lay this. Oh, I don't want to just lay it there. I'm going to leave it there on the floor. Can you tell? I think it looks cool. It's going to be sashed in between all these as well as in between everything. So in between those, and then also between all the blocks. And I don't think I'm going to put cornerstones. I think I'll just leave that empty. So here's my design process so far. All right. What size is your bobbin? On my long arm or on this thing? My long arm is L. No, M. L. I don't know. It's M or L. This one's L or M, and the other one's M or L. It's one or the other. I think this is M, and the one out there is L. I'm trying to think because I had to buy a ton of them. Because this one I only got like 40 bobbins to go with it. And I had to buy special cases to put them in, you know? And then the long arm, I don't even have a case. I just have the bobbins thrown everywhere because I had to buy over 100 of them because they get full so much. Yeah, L. Okay, so this is L and out there is M then. All right, let's cut. I think I'm going to do yellow for the sashing in between those blocks, but put the blue for the sashing in between the yellow and black blocks. Does that make sense? Yes, that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll put, I don't think I want a cornerstone either, so I need a 9.5, two 9.5 inch, two 9.5 inch strips of yellow. That way I can bring the yellow to the other blocks. And then bring the blue, because I don't want as much black. Mine is a TL98QE. Mine's the TL2010Q. All right, we're going to cut 1.5 inch strip. We're going to see what this looks like. So let me just cut a 1.5 inch strip, and we're going to see what it looks like in between. Give me a second to cut these into 9.5 inch strips. Will I get that? Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. So let's take that end off and turn these into 9.5 inch for now. 9.5 right there. It's all on the line. I'm going to bring 4 blocks up here real quick. We're going to see what this yellow looks like as the sashing for these. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see really good. Hi, Diane. What are you doing awake? All right. So we're going to put this here. Just pretend it's a long strip of sashing right there. Actually, I could probably do cornerstones, huh? I mean, I did go and cut 9.5 inch strips. So I could do yellow with the blue as a cornerstone. We're going to fold this up and pretend that this is a little cornerstone for now. Just so that you guys can see. I don't want to cut it just in case I need to use it. So let's pretend that's it. Okay, so here's with the yellow, and I kind of think that really pops. Pain, what else? Oh, okay. And then we were thinking the blue in between the yellow and white. So we're just going to, you guys could get the mental image of this real quick. Let me tip the camera a little bit more. So you got the mental image of how this looks with the yellow in these blocks. Now we're going to grab the blue. I know how they're going to lay, so let's grab these other blocks and put the blue sashing in between. These are not 9.5, so they're going to be long. We're just going to pretend they're the right size. Okay. just pretending for now. And then this would get the yellow as a cornerstone. We're just going to use this little piece and pretend that this is a 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch cornerstone. Since that one got blue and yellow, this one will get yellow and blue. How's that? Looks good. I like the cornerstones. I can see it. Snow, yuck. Carol, you have snow? Yeah, I don't do snow either. It's actually 43 degrees out here right now outside. My body does not do cold at all whatsoever, guys. I hate cold. Definitely pull those yellow blocks in. You mean this? The sashing? Try black as a cornerstone. Okay. We're going to pretend this is the right size. I'm trying to equal out the blue, because I don't want it to be too much. There. You know what I mean? I don't want to be too much with the yellow being the only yellow and black block. You know what I mean? I'm letting you guys look for a second while I hear something. It's not my machine. There's a weird buzzing sound coming from over here. But it's not my machine. Definitely is not my machine. I think it's out the window somewhere. The yellow sashings on the other will pull that yellow stars together. So the yellow in this sashing pulls these together, if that makes any sense. Is that what you're trying to say? WI is Wisconsin. The yellow sashings on the other will pull that yellow star together. So what about the fact that these have the blue to go with these? Because I was thinking about putting yellow around these too, as the full-on around everything sashing. I think the blue brings out the fact that this has blue too, taking away too much of the yellow, but not at the same time. So the black cornerstone better? Okay. I'm just going to go for it, guys. And I could also just do this blue polka dot, because it's the same color blue, it just has white polka dots. So I could also use this as the piece to give it more texture, I guess. And in person, you guys would see it would be different. So instead of the solid blue, I can actually just use these. I mean, it's an option, which I can throw in everywhere. Or I can stick with these because this is the same color. Just has polka dots on it. All right, so we're agreed? We're agreed. Let's see, do I have... Oh, I don't need 4 more if I'm going to be using just 4 for this block only, right? Let's do it. So let's trim these down to 9.5 inches and attach them to this with a black cornerstone. Let's see if this is 1.5 because I only need 1. Let's see if this is 1.5 by 1.5. Let's cut 1.5. And turn it, cut 1.5 again. Look at that. I was able to use that little piece as a cornerstone. You have to make sure it's 1.5 again. Yep, that's 1.5. 1.5, 1.5. Okay. So that little scrap piece became a cornerstone. Look at that. All right, now let's move this out of the way for a second so we can turn these into 9.5 inch strips so that this works out perfect. Oh, let me turn this back up again. But that one big yellow block was different than the rest. Yes, it's different purposely. And having this around it blends it with everything else, I think. So I think it'll work out. All right, let's trim one edge, and then I'll turn it around and grab 9.5 inches. Those little pieces, nice straight edge, come to 9.5. 9.5. Look at that, just enough because it was a 10-inch strip to start with. Are you kidding me? Did I not cut down hard enough? I cut 2 layers of the fabric. Not 4. Okay. And then we have a cornerstone. Let's move all this. These are going to go with these ones. Just move that out of the way for now. I have this big, large mess. So I'm going to start by making sure these are all opposite, and they are. Put that little black in the center. We're going to attach this like a 9 patch. So I'm going to start by putting these 3 together, put these 3 together, and then put these 3 pieces together. Make your B-Day block out of scrap, and it came out in 9.5. I don't know why I didn't with the pretty fabric. I don't know. Don't know, Diane. Actually, I'm just going to go this way because this is my top. I'm reading this as the top. All right, I got my guide on. I can't mess up. That's a 1/4 inch. I'm just going to finger press it in. Grab the next one. Because I don't have my iron on now. I unplugged it to move it. Line this end up. Finger press it. Lay it back. Put this together. And I'm going to finger press these towards the blue. Put this on it. Lay it back. Put this on. This is, okay, finger press towards the blue. Grab this one. Hi, Jim. Didn't see that you were here. My cat is watching me on your phone. Oh, I had it on the table while I was watching on TV. All right, so now I'm going to put this on this one and then grab the other piece and put it on. Ouch. Hi, Christine. How are you? Long time no see. Well, not really long time, but long enough. Not any time today. Good afternoon, everybody. Gorgeous afternoon, Langley. How's everyone? I've been making dinner. Shelling pistachios for the salad and trying not to eat them. Hard not to. Love the quilt, Tiffany. Did you know pistachios are actually a natural, if you eat a couple before bed, it's naturally holds a lot of melatonin and it helps with sleep. They don't work on me, but I'm sure it will with you guys, the other insomniacs here. Yeah, supposedly you just need a couple pistachios every night right before bed, and you're supposed to be able to get enough melatonin to knock you the hell out. But that kind of stuff don't work for me. Home remedies and all that other junk. Nope, not for me. Oh, funny. Thank you. Here's the machine. Hi, Jim. Hi. All right, so now I'm going to put this back so that I remember that that's the position it goes in. Put this side on it. I think this is going to be cute because of the fact that I put one random colored block in here and I'm making the colors work through the rest of the quilt anyway. So I'm going to nest my little seams right here. And I'm finger pressing everything and it's working just fine. Like I said, those star points on these blocks did not hit the ends. So these I don't have no worry about touching any thick seams. You just heard that. You love pistachios. I went away last week with the husband and there was no internet. Did not know that about the nuts. Yeah, I watched a whole entire article about it. All right, I'm not even going to bother pressing it because even being finger pressed, it's like super duper. So here it is up close with the blue. And see the blue, the aqua, or whatever color, it really highlights the rest of the aquas in here. Thank you, Diane, about the black cornerstone. That worked out perfect. I hold it back a little so you can see. So you can see what's going to happen if there was no sashing in here. This would create like an almost kind of circle look around here. So it would look kind of cool, but I like it with sashing like this. All right, so this should now be the same size, probably bigger by a ½ inch. Watch. Knowing me, it's going to be bigger. It's about an 1/8 of an inch bigger. So, I mean, it's not perfect, but if I just not lay it completely on that side, yeah, it's about an 1/8 of an inch. I'll be able to make it work. It'll fit into the 1/4 inch seam. So you can see right here on the edge. It's literally barely anything. Oh, when I fold it, it looks like more, but it's literally barely anything. It's not even a 1/4 of an inch. So, like I said, it should have been the same size no matter what I did. They're all going to line up. Let me put this back down, put that back down, and now add the sashing on the other ones. I'm looking at the blue doing this. There we go. All on the same side like that. That looks good. All right. Let me put this little guy back in there. And now we'll take 4 of these, my 4 yellow sashing pieces. Should I just go ahead and put black in these ones too? What do you guys think? As the little cornerstone. Okay. So make sure that these are opposites. That one goes there. This one goes here. These are opposites. So should I put a little black cornerstone in these? Or the aqua color? I was going to say that's a cool secondary pattern. It is. Pecans and walnuts too for me. Oh, you like that too. Let's see. I love them too. Cashews, macadamia nuts, Brazils, pistachios. Wow, you like nuts. Oh, I didn't mean to say it like that though. Get that out of your head. Sorry guys, you know I get silly in the middle of the night. Okay, let's see. Work with the judges at the fair. That's what they looked for, those pop of colors. Really? Okay. Let's see, yes, black. Okay, I'm going to go with black. So we'll throw that guy out of the way. Cut another little Well, actually, we'll cut 2 because I have to do it with the other one as well. So 1.5 inch little black piece. Turn it this way. 1.5 inch little black piece. So I really had a tiny sliver come off of that because that was what was left from cutting other pieces. So I'm making every scrap count. I mean, I told you guys in the beginning, I don't think I showed everyone, but from earlier, all those leftover cuts from the big pieces, from the big blocks, where they go? Right here. All those leftover pieces from the big blocks, look at that. I made a whole stack of these guys. So I'm going to, whether it's in the front or the back, I'm going to incorporate, they're all falling now, all of these. And they're not the same size right now. I just trimmed all the big, huge ends off. So they're all pretty long and skinny, but some are the half piece from adding the second side, and then some are a whole piece. So I make sure, and you guys know this, I make sure I incorporate, especially since this was a scrap quilt. So why not take the scraps from the scraps and make something from it, you know? The only thing that's not scraps so far is the yellow and the solid black. And I probably had scraps in a drawer, but I'm not going to dig through that for video's sake. All right. Let's put this yellow here, 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 and there. And then my little black piece. Ta-da! So this is what this one's going to look like. Let me line it back up again so you guys can make sure one more time. And that looks good? Yeah? Awesome? Perfect. So I'm going to sew this to this, then that to that. This to this, and that to that, and this to this. Just like that. And then sew big, long seams. Quiet most of the time, so it doesn't get stuck in buffering. All right, sew these on now with my 1/4 inch seam. Finger press it. I know I don't want to finger press it to the yellow, but I'm gonna have to because, yeah, I'm just gonna have to. And this one was kind of long, and I hope that doesn't happen with the rest, but it's probably the block's fault, not my last cut's fault. So that's probably how that other block ended up, I don't know, bigger, because I didn't trim away the excess lineup. I will just quilt this with a backing fabric that's a boy-like backing fabric that's dark. Probably a flannel because I have lots of children's flannel prints. So I'll probably use a dark flannel print for this one. And you will never see any of my pressing to the yellow color. Oh, that goes out to the yellow. This bit in there. So I'll sew this block and then sew the next block, the next 4 patch with sashing, and then I'll get off here. Since I've been on for, I don't remember what it said when I went over there. I know it's more than an hour though. Well, that one's exactly 9.5. Why did the other one turn out that way? My not so accurate piecing, but it happens. So as long as it fits in a 1/4 inch seam and doesn't fall apart, it's good. Like this block is definitely off. So I will stretch it. Why? Because I can. There we go. Come on, Tippy. Line up. borders on a soft coat, but dying to drop it and make some stars. And Diane, she posted a picture of it in the group. If you want to go see, which I gotta go on the link to Sloth Fabric because somebody was asking me questions today and I didn't know what to say about Christmas gifts. Ruining my ideas, and I didn't want to have to tell her. So I just like lollygagged around words because I don't know what to say. So I'm like, oh yeah, you'll have to let me know what kind of fabrics you want. But I already know what I want. She just doesn't know that yet. And I need to get some sloth stuff. Shouldn't say it out loud though, just in case she does end up watching this video. I doubt it though. I don't think my daughter has time to watch my hour-long videos. She don't mind being in them, but I don't think she wants to watch them. Although Maxine has been known to be on during a couple live chats before in the past. All right sides together. Line up this first nested cornerstone piece. Go on down to it. And grab that second one. Nest that seam. And line the end up. And just sew on down. Sew on down. No, I did not pre-wash them. Oh, the Christmas question is what they wanted for gifts to buy other people for Christmas and what they would want for themselves to buy one for themselves. Purse. Remember the purse that I made? Well, somebody was just so in love with it today, not knowing that that was what I was going to be gifting for Christmas. All right, so there's that. Ooh, that looks good with the yellow. Yeah, this is definitely going to blend it with the yellow. So yeah, hopefully she doesn't watch this. And if she does, it's not going to be before Christmas, but I'm going to buy sloth fabric and make a purse with sloth fabric. All right, so the yellow looks amazing. Got to cook now and try not to burn the house down. Okay, Christine, we'll see you next time. This is just part of a bunch of Insomniac series episodes, so we'll see you next time. All right, so number one of those done. Let's do another one, and then I'll point the camera down. I'm not even pressing everything. It's just finger pressed. So let's cut a piece of sashing for this now. Again, it's going to do the same thing I already done. Just going to cut a 1.5 inch strip off of here. Line it up. Actually, I don't need to line it up because it's already cut a nice straight edge from the last nice straight edge. 1.5 inch. Don't need no more. Throw it out of the way. And I shouldn't throw it out of the way crinkled though, because then it gets all messed up. Throw it out of the way nicely so I don't mess up my yardage. Now we're going to cut off the end, selvage end, and the little fold end. Because that's not needed at all. And then come over 9.5 inches, because that's how big my block is. So if you're making sashing for a 9.5 inch block, you need to cut 9.5 inch sashing pieces. All right, so there's 4 sashing pieces. Let's put the 4 blocks, just like so. Put the yellow. My phone is now going crazy. I don't know why. Put my little cornerstone there. That there. That there. Stop. And that there. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Now let's put it together. Hey, Suburban. Happy 4 a.m. Oh, I missed a chance. Wait. Oh, Tiff, you missed a chance for a SA. What's the SA? Sale. Oh, you could have made the lady a bag. There was a sale. When was there a sale? On sloth fabric. All right, let's put this over like that. That over on like that. This over like that. And sew all these. Okay. Finger press to the yellow. Grab. Hold on. Corner. Okay. I had to make sure that the blocks are facing the correct directions. Yes, and yes. I didn't move nothing around. We could have made. Oh, no. It's not for a sell. She wants to buy, but it was actually a Christmas gift to her. For one of my kids. I won't exactly say which one, but you guys know from the past who I said likes sloths, just in case she watches this video. She was very, 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 very excited about looking at my bags. She wants to buy one for someone else. Yes, she could pay for that, but for her Christmas gift, I had already had it in mind, so she can have a one-of-a-kind purse. And I was even going to teach myself how to put a zipper on. Even though I know for a fact it's just going to be one big disaster, because the last couple zippers just still didn't, no matter what I do, it still didn't look right. So yeah, I'll still make a sale for one thing, but the actual gift for her, she won't know. I'll just say, oh, I'm running behind on it or something like that. So yeah, I'll get it done. Trying to think of things to make people for Christmas this year that I already have in here, but one so far would have to be something I purchased. But I think she would be okay if it was made from something I already have in here. If I can't get the fabric that I want. Because we're kind of broke this year. Because last year's birthday, Christmas, anniversary, all in one gift that's out in the garage. You guys remember. Scott said no more gifts for a long time because of that. So, and really I understand why, because we're broke. If I could sell some quilts, it would be okay, because then I could just have the money from those to refurbish fabric, replenish fabric in this room. Tomorrow I'll be taking pictures anyway, because I finished the last of the binding of all the finished projects. So once I get those photos taken, then I will get myself back on track with selling everything, liquidating. Oh, it's just my scissors. Oh, zippers are easy. Just make sure it's bigger than you need. Well, I have a ton of zippers, so whatever I have would probably be bigger than what I need. I just know eventually I do need to try zippers again. And yes, I'm trimming as I'm right here, because why? Because I can. All right, one more side. Attach that, and then I'll lay it back down unpressed because there's no need to turn the iron on if I'm just going to get off of here after showing you guys anyway. Line up, you nest. Line up, you nest. Nest, you seem. Okay. You can tell when I'm getting tired finally, when I can't talk. And I do have the radio on, but you guys can't hear it. I can. I have it hiding under the desk so that it's not loud, and I can't get in trouble with YouTube for having music on. Every once in a while, a tune that I like comes on. Oh man, we are both this year too. It's hospitals can't seem to stay out of them this year. Mine's not that. Mine is, well, the big old thing in the garage. That is why we are broke. I'm making sure my seams are a little bit more finger pressed, even though I need to press it all anyway. So there's number 2. I think it looks cool breaking it up because then you don't get lost in the busyness of these. These are kind of dizzy, but since it's a boy quilt, I don't think we're going to have a problem with a boy liking these dizzy colors. Tell me about it. This month, my washer and dryer died of old age, and a week later we had to buy a set of tires. We just had to get Scott a tire for his car too. My car hasn't needed tires in like 2 years, but then I don't drive everywhere anymore. All right, I'm going to go throw this on the floor. And then the sashing for all of them is the next step. And then borders, obviously. So I'm going to turn the big light back on. I like this one block being random. It totally looks awesome. Okay, hold on. Let me turn the light on. You see it really good? Oh, I think that looks so awesome, guys. I think the other light by itself kind of was just as bright almost. Takes a second to adjust. I think it looks cool with the one random block. So what do you guys think about yellow sashing everywhere but where the yellow block is? So what I'm getting at is, let me get down real quick. Oh, that hurts so bad. Yellow sashing here, there, here, and there, but a different color sashing only around that block. But use black cornerstones, you know, so if I separate it enough, you get the idea. Ow, ow, ow. What do you guys think about that? So yellow around all this to keep that yellow theme going, but the blue around just this, but everywhere else would be different. As long as the cornerstones right here are black, I think it would look just fine. But we could save that for another day when I come back to it. Let me look at the comments before I took the camera. Stove too. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Okay, love that. Yes, I understand, man. So I like it. Gonna look awesome. So you guys like the idea of the yellow everywhere except for right here and right here. But the rest of the seams will be yellow. And even all the way around the whole entire thing could be the first border yellow, except for this side of that. So I could still do cornerstones on the outer side too before I put the borders on. Because the borders are going to be all the leftover pieces. So, all right, I'm going to turn it back up to me now. I like it too. Very, very pretty. Use blue around the yellow and yellow around the rest. Exactly. And I'm kind of thinking a 2.5-inch border so that it gets a little bit wider, you know, because I do have, I'm going to have to use this blue though. I don't have enough of the other blue, but that's the same color blue. It just has white polka dots. So this will be the blue for the sashing because I don't have any more. But I don't want it to be yellow or black around that, if that makes any sense. I think it'll swap it out, you know, and it'll look really cool. But I can go 2.5-inch, I think, with all this, the sashing around the blocks itself and the first border. And then the cornerstones will make it. You know what I mean? It'll look really cool. I think blue down the center. Interesting. Okay. Carol says I would like the blue sashing on all. Really? So this blue and white polka dot sashing on the whole entire thing with black cornerstones or yellow cornerstones? Yellow cornerstones would even be better since the little blocks have black cornerstones. I'll mess with it tomorrow though. I'm going to stop messing with it for now because I'm overwhelming myself now, guys. And we'll see what happens. I think blue down the center. Okay. All right, we'll see though tomorrow. I'll work on some more tomorrow. For now, I'm just gonna let it be, let it sit. Because remember, I do have borders to make using the last of these pieces, which I'll cut down into. They are 5 inches long, so let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Make sure with these ones. Yeah, they're. I think these were leftovers from 5-inch squares, probably. So these are 5-inch long. So these will attach end to end to end, mixed with blue and yellow and black, and I will create borders after the first sashing around the outside border. So yes, it is tomorrow. I meant tonight's tomorrow. Or maybe later today, it doesn't matter. There's Insomniac series and then that, but since I kind of think I'm getting closer to the end on this quilt with the Insomniac part, I think I'm going to stick with it on the Insomniac part because I need to start an actual whole new project on my daytime shows. So yeah, you guys are privy to knowing that now because you're here in the middle of the night. So just know that a new project, I don't know which one of at least the two that I can see in front of me, is going to be starting soon. And I don't know if I'm recording it or doing it live. I've kind of been told by a few people that I should start recording more videos. I just don't like editing them. So, because I have to put it on a stand, I have to constantly press pause in between all the cutting, and then move the stand and move this and move that. To me, it's a hassle. I don't know. I like recording live, but I like you guys being able to know what I'm doing as well, especially when I designed something and I want you to be able to follow along. So, all right. Yes, yes, yes. I am seeing a lot of white in points, maybe white around just the yellow block. Now, I think a white will blend once it's in there. If you think about it, and just saying this out loud, once a white is in there, because of this print, a white or a black is going to blend into this color. So that's something I'm giving you guys a tip on. A white or a black is going to blend in because this is so busy. Look, when I move it, what it does, it's an eye tripper. So because it's busy, you want a solid or a very, very bright color to take its place around it. Since I put a bright color in the yellow in a block just randomly, it needs to still pull away from these and pull away from that now. So it has to be a solid, bright. If you were using other prints, you need to use something that's on the brighter scale, darker tones, higher contrast. I'm trying to put all the words that mean the same thing together so that you guys know. So this was contrasting enough. It's still kind of on the light side, but again, I'm using scraps. So normally with these colors, I probably would have done a red. I don't have no red to throw in here. I have what I have. But these kind of black colors, a red would have been that pop, that extreme pop. So just letting you know for contrast and highlight and blah, blah, blah purposes, That's kind of way to go. So around this needs to be something other than black or white. Okay. Just for future references for those of you who make black and white quilts. All right. All right. So contrast and symmetry is what you're saying. Something like that, Diane. Exactly. You need contrast, contrast, contrast. All right, guys. I'm going to let you go. I hope everyone enjoyed episode 1 of Insomniac series. So it's actually Insomniac Quilting series, but it's the Insomniac series. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Those of you who are new to my channel, don't forget to head down there, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, get notifications when I'm on. I don't know if you really want notifications in the middle of the night, but you can just turn your phone volumes down. All right, guys. And don't forget to like and share my videos. I will talk to you all next time. Bye. Good night, morning, night, whatever.